Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Keeping with the trend of Brazilian rain trees, I thought I'd show you the third. So the second to the last video I did was taking a gigantic air layer off of the tree I have in the ground. And then I showed you the finished tree that is styled pretty nicely and just needs to be refined a little bit. And this one here is another air layer in a 1-gallon pot, and it's been allowed to grow pretty much unchecked. So today I'm going to give it the initial styling, and I'm going to take off the entire right side, and I'm going to leave the left side to create the tree. Now if we come in, zooming in, we can see, once I take this limb off, that when I cut this back, as I've said, Brazilian rain trees are prone to dying back. So I cut that one back. Let me get rid of that little guy, since we're going to be chopping this whole thing off. And it died back to here. Then this died back, and it has actually died back all the way down to the ground. And typically what happens is you'll begin to get rot. It does appear as though it's healing pretty well, but I'm taking all of this off. And I'm going to use this part as the tree coming up into here, like that. So, I need to do a little bit of modification on the tripod. And I'm actually going to use loppers to take off this part here. And I've left a stub because, once again, they're prone to dieback. So if you cut it flush, it'll die back even worse. So I left a stub. And now the design of this tree is going to be up into here. So I'm also taking this off, leaving a stub. And we got this little tiny growth right here. This part here looks dead. Now it would have been fantastic if this stub right here, maybe I'll bring the mountain to Muhammad instead of Muhammad to the mountain, eh? If this little stub right here was alive, because that's right at the outside of the curve, that would have been fantastic for that to be the first main branch. However, it isn't, so we deal with it. So when I'm done with this tree, it's going to be pretty sparse. And that's what I do. It's called a skeletonization. So I remove everything that I think is not going to be part of the design. So this is actually going to be my first main branch, and I'm just going to bring it down so that visually it looks like it's coming from here. Bring it down, up it like into that. Here's my second main branch, which I just actually trimmed a little bit. So it will be at 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, coming at you. Bring this one down, bring this one here. And then the apex of this tree is going to be right here. Right here. So it'll have very nice movement. It'll be a more feminine tree. And there you go. So now it just needs some wire and maybe a little bit more trimming on the edges. To get ramification, if you leave this branch like this and you don't trim it back at all, it's just going to continue to grow from the tips. So chop it back and let ramification begin to fill in. Have a back branch that needs to be chopped back, and another smaller back branch, but that one can stay. And then the apex like that. Bring this in here. So now I just need some wire to maybe change the front like that, and then I don't need any wire. Yeah! Lazy man's bonsai. Just change the front. So I'm going to take this to here. You notice this leaf is going down, so the shoot that comes out of here will also go down. So probably need to give the apex. See, I want the angle of this guy right here to be the same as the angle here, and this angle is too tight. So this guy needs to be lifted up a little bit. So I'm going to do the wiring off camera, and then I will show you, quote unquote, the finished product. The wiring is complete. And so this is the skeletonization. It came out pretty nice. I like it. There's a couple of things about it that I wish were a little different. When I cut this part off here, which was, you know, the main part that was shooting out this, and I chose this as the apex, this will probably die back to here, and it would be really nice to have a branch coming out of the outside of this curve. But I've got this little tiny piece right here, and when it emerges, I can guide it out into there. Since this is the second main branch, this branch here will be more in the back, and that's exactly where this little tiny piece of growth is pointing. So just guide it into here, and then just fill out the pads. And I actually discovered there's another branch down here that could very well form the first main branch instead of the one above. And even though it's coming from the back, you can fool the eyeball into thinking that it's coming from here, and it's placed much better than this one here. So that's for the future. I'm going to hold that thought and then see how it develops. And I may very well take the little branch now that I've got my finger on it, and it will make the first main branch. Still got a decent back branch. This one here, if this becomes the first main branch, this will be shortened tremendously and just have a little tuft of foliage. So that's about it. I checked out the roots and they're pretty healthy. I guess I can do that. All right. Nice white roots. And it probably needs to be cut about like that and put into like an 8-inch bulb pan. And I'm going to do that at a later date. Whoa, we've had so much rain. Look, it's just dripping wet. But Brazilian rain trees love tropical conditions. So where are we again? Here we go. Does that look like it's in the frame? Brazilian rain tree number 3. A more open, feminine tree. But it has nice lines. And I'm thinking it's going to be, it will develop nicely over time. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And when you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you can watch me. Oops, I forgot something else. Stop all that part. I don't know if you can see. Well, I'll just show it to you. Close up. I wired this branch and this branch with the same piece of wire. So I started about here, wrapped it a couple times, then came out, and then came down and came out. And that's a good way to do things. I like to do that, but it only works if both branches are similar in thickness, because then it takes the same heaviness of wire to bend them. If this branch was much, much heavier and I need a thicker wire, then it wouldn't work on here, because thick wire on a smaller branch, you can break it and create problems. So now I'm at the, if you like this video and all the rest of that stuff, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I will be giving updates on this guy every few months. Well, I guess I should say girl, because this is more of a feminine tree Masculine trees are defined by huge trunks, dense foliage, and feminine trees are defined as more open, lacy, thin trunks. So this is very definitely going to be a feminine tree. And the birds love it too. And now I'm drawing a total blank, so I guess I should just end. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.